Now, let's move on and look at the next two components of OSVEA, visualization and execution, and how they can fuel a process known as automation. Automation can be defined as a non-conscious action. Every day, we engage in automated processes. For example, brushing our teeth. There's not many people when they're brushing their teeth that are thinking back, forward, top, bottom, left, right. It's an automated process. Elite athletes engage in their sport in the same way. It's an automated process. So, as coaches, we want to help our students develop the ability to automate. And the V and E of OSVEA can do this. Visualization has been scientifically proven to help athletes engage in unimpeded movements. For example, helping a golfer hear a shot, see a shot, or feel a shot will help them automate their golf swing. It will help them be less impeded as they stand over the ball and take a step closer to swinging the golf club as part of an automated process. So, let's check out these drills that I use to help students actively discover the best form of visualization for them. Practice flow. This challenge is based upon my understanding and knowledge of Jordan Spieth's pre-shot routine. So the pre-shot routine is made up of two components. The physical, these are the steps that you can see, how the body moves, and the cognitive. These are the thought processes that the player is going through at any stage during the routine. Now I know that when Jordan Spieth has his practice swing, he's trying to feel the shape of the shot that he's going to be hitting. And then what he does is he transitions that feeling over the ball, and that's his focus as he hits. So this drill, practice flow, is designed to help players actively experience what Jordan Spieth does in his pre-shot routine, and it looks a little bit like this. So player stands 5 to 10 yards away from the ball, depending how many practice swings they want to have, and they take a practice swing really trying to feel what it is that they're going to feel over the ball. Then they'll take a couple of steps to the right and they'll go again. They'll be really focused on feeling what it is that they want to feel over the golf ball. And then they'll take the steps all the way into the ball and nothing changes. The challenge is to make everything the same and recreate those same feelings and just let the ball get in the way. This can really help a player engage in the pre-shot process, have a more deliberate, purposeful, fluid practice swing, transition that into the golf shot and stay process focused throughout the whole routine and the strike of the golf ball. Tension test. The mind moves the body moves the club, and the club can have a club. So the mind moves the body moves the club, and the club moves the ball. Therefore, one of the biggest killers in golf is tension. If tension is allowed to manifest in our hands and through our body, we hold onto the club too tight, we cannot now access the swing mechanics that we've trained so hard for. So this drill is an incredible way to create awareness of optimal tension that a player needs and also transfer that into the correct mental focus to improve shots on the golf course. So Maya, you're going to put club on the floor. Okay, take a breath. Relax. Okay, and we're going to focus on your hands and your jaw. So dial up tension, so start to feel level 2 in the hands, level 2 in the jaw. Okay, level 4 in the hands and jaw, abs will start to tense a bit. Level 6, level 8, and then 10. And 10, and hold 10, and then slowly down to level 8, level 6, level 4, 2, 0. Now, pick up the golf club, breathe and relax. Take a couple of practice swings, and just tell me what tension you feel in your hands. 5. Okay, cool. So have another swing. Now the goal is to hit that first ball, feeling level tension 5 in your hands. So use this challenge to gain more awareness of what optimal tension is for you in your hands and in your jaw. Discover this on the range and then transition it onto the golf course in the form of a process goal. So once you've been successful here, take it onto the course and put your focus on controlling either jaw pressure or grip pressure on the course and get more out of your current golf swing. Skim swing. This challenge is based upon the emergence of golf fitness. We see a lot of golf athletes in the gym with medicine balls, going like this, making medicine ball throws. And that's because the biomechanical properties of the medicine ball throw are very similar to an efficient golf swing. But a lot of athletes will fail to connect the dots between this and hitting a golf shot. So bringing the philosophy of the medicine ball throw onto the range and having to hit a shot very quickly after you've generated those feelings can help players create a focus that allows the mind to move the body to move the club, and the club to move the ball in a more effective manner. This challenge looks like this. So the player picks up a golf ball, and what they'll do is they'll make a pivot like they would with their golf swing, and they'll skim the ball into the ground. So it looks like this. Okay, same again. So they pick up the ball, make a pivot like they would in their golf swing, and throw the golf ball. And this time, this is optional. Safety is a premium with this one. If you're working with a good player, they can actually throw a golf club. This is more testing, so this increases the challenge point of the drill. But it looks like this. Release the club, and then generate the same feelings that you've felt, transition them into the golf shot. So now the focus is on just creating the same feelings as when you were skimming the ball and the club. This challenge can be a great way not only to help players focus on feelings that can drive better golf swings, but also help them with visualization. Visualization isn't just the use of imagery, it's also feel. So players practicing this and then transitioning it into the golf ball can help them evolve a very nice, effective practice swing. No look golf. This is an incredible way to help players enhance their target focus. Sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but by placing a constraint on a player of them not being allowed to look up at the target once they pass a certain point, in this case, the alignment rod, it forces the player to engage with the target using their mind's eye. So if I ask everyone listening now, can you picture your first ever car? Or can you picture the first ever bedroom that you can remember that you grew up in? Everyone can see it. And you're seeing that with your mind's eye. So no look golf forces players to connect with the target, advice that's often given to golfers, but this actually helps them practically apply it. It's very simple, it looks like this. Okay, so the player goes through the pre-shot routine, and then once they're ready and they've got their target selected, once they cross a certain point, they're not allowed to look back up at the target. So now what this constraint is doing is forcing the player to use their mind's eye to connect with the target and use this external focus to drive better mechanics and better golf shots. Don't just limit this to the golf range. If this is something that you feel will help your players, or you've seen this drill help players, then challenge them to take it on the golf course and play for score. Interim obsession, a great challenge to help players focus on the target. Often in golf we give this advice, focus on the target, but what does that mean for the individual? Is the target something on the floor, on the line to the flag? Is the target a visual window in the sky? Who knows, it can be different for everyone. So interim obsession is a chance to find this out. So what you're going to do with your player, you're going to ask them to hit to the target. In this case, we've got the blue flag over my left shoulder in the distance, and the player has options. The player can place a T in the floor, exactly on line with their target, and start to actively discover similar things to what Justin Rose does in his routine. Or sometimes we take it a step further. We would put a couple of alignment rods in the floor and a sheet of paper with a target on just here, and the player would have to hit through that target on line to the ball landing as close as they can to the flag. Now the goal of this drill is to help the player build psychological habits that can feed visualization and fuel their pre-shot routine. So it would look a little bit like this. The player would either place the tee in the floor, or the player would line up this target here with the distance, and then they go and hit, and they're not thinking about the end target. They're obsessed with this target or the target out there. So interim obsession, a great challenge for a player to actively discover if a target focus is a good focus for them, and also if it is, what kind of target focus. Is it a small target on the floor? Is it a window in the sky? Is it something way in the distance? Once they've discovered this on the range, take it onto the golf course, set it as a process goal, stick with it for 9 holes, and see if it can improve your performance. Visualization, the use of feeling, seeing, or hearing the golf shot, begins to fuel that automated process. But we must maintain the optimum direction and width of focus as we execute the golf shot to allow us to be automated and to keep that inner chimp quiet. If the inner chimp speaks, that's going to break automation. So, how can we help a student do that? Well, check out these drills that help students find their automated process. Golf suicide. This challenge is designed to help players actively discover how to reduce the stress response ready for tournament play. All too often, golfers will be in a competition, heart rate will be high, tension will be high, and they'll have no way to combat this. Well, through this challenge, Golf Suicides, they can learn to change their psychology and physiology through the active discovery of breathing. It looks a little bit like this. So you can see Mai's running to get her heart rate up. So heart rate is now higher, representing stress in a tournament. Physiology's changed to represent stress in a tournament. She's taken time to breathe. Now the goal is to just hit the center of the face. There we go, let's go again. Run, run, run. So really push it, get that heart rate up. Increase tension as if you were stressed in a tournament play. Okay, now you've got to inoculate that stress response. So take time, breathe, relax. Okay, now the challenge is to get yourself in a good psychological and physiological state and hit the center of the face. So there we have it, Golf Suicides. A great way to actively discover how to regulate your breathing and inoculate that stress response ready for tournament play. But an important thing is it doesn't end there. That was the start of the journey. What we need to do is we need to adjust the game to the correct challenge point. So a player might start there, just trying to hit the center of the face. Then we can introduce targets to make the game slightly harder. Then we could introduce targets with different lies, but the ultimate goal is to get it out onto the course playing 1 or 2 holes of speed golf so you can really learn to regulate your breathing where it matters the most, on the golf course, ready for tournament play. Silence the chimp. As humans, we are negatively wired. We have this inner chimp in our mind that is designed to tell us no. And it's actually an incredible thing. It's the reason that we look both ways when we go to cross a road. It's the reason that when we're driving, we stop at red lights. It's designed to bring our attention to danger. It's there to protect us. It's actually called an innate human survival mechanism. It keeps us alive, but it screws up our golf. So if you suffer first tee nerves, the likelihood is that your chimp's on overdrive. A great drill to help you silence the chimp is hit golf balls while counting. Looks a little bit like this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 13, 14.
So we can see there a successful attempt at hitting the golf ball while counting. Things to watch for when a player is doing this is that the numbers flow, there's consistency in the counting, that when the ball is hit, the player doesn't go 10, 11, because that signals tension. So you want good flow, good rhythm, and nice constant sound to the numbers. And when a player's mastered that on the range, get out on the golf course, play a few holes while counting, and let's see if that focus can drive better golf shots and better golf scores. Shot of the box. All too often, golfers will find their minds boxed in through a deep technical focus or fear of outcomes when playing on the golf course. This boxed-in mindset doesn't give you the freedom and flow that you need to be able to react to the target and hit the best shots that you can on that day. This drill is designed to combat that. Okay, Maya, you ready? Okay, front right. High fade. Back left. Mid-flight draw. Middle right. Punch shot. Front left. High fade. Middle left. Higher fade. Back right, baby draw. That flight was good, wasn't it? Golfers are often given advice, think less, just react to the target. But what does that mean to a specific individual and how do we train it? Well, shatter the box is a great way for an individual to have an experience of just reacting to the target and also think less when hitting shots. Now again, it must be set up to the player's correct challenge point. So start off shaping the ball with no target. The goal is just to hit the center of the face, then add a target, then maybe varying lies, but ultimately end up on the golf course, setting the box up in a fairway or in the semi-rough if you like, and react to that pin. Fire some shots with different shapes to the pin out there on the course where it matters, and have an experience of thinking less, flowing more, and reacting to the target. Say what you see. This drill is the practical application of the theory quiet eye. So quiet eye is some research that concluded that expert golfers control their eye patterns better than novice golfers. So when an expert golfer goes into a shot, their eyes are strictly focused on the target and the golf ball. Whereas novice golfers, when they go into a shot, their eye patterns vary all over the place. So how do we train that? How do we help novice golfers develop quiet eye? Well, Here's how. So the challenge is I want you to hit to the target,
Okay.
but I want you to say out loud if your eyes are looking at the ball or the target. If at any point they break away from the ball or the target, you have to reset and start again. Okay, ready? Let's go.
Ball, 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 target, ball, ball, target, target, ball, ball.
There's a variation to this task that increases the challenge point. Once players become successful at what you've just seen, we can then ask them, when their eyes are on the ball, they have to say target. When their eyes are on the target, they have to say ball. And what this does, this starts to help a player evolve a Jason Day-like process. So I know from time spent with professionals and studying Jason Day, that in his pre-shot routine, the cognitive process is when his eyes are on the ball, his mind's eye's on the target. And when his eyes are on the target, his mind's eye's on the ball. And the reason for this, and Jason states this, is that golf puts you in an artificial position. So if I want to throw you this golf ball, I go like this and I look at the target. But in golf, I'm in this position. So it's very artificial. It's hard for me to understand where the target is unless I engage my mind's eye. And Jason Day, it's well documented that this is what he does. When he is over the golf ball in this position, the imagery that's in his brain is as if he stood in this position. So the variation of this drill will help a player train this.
Ball, 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 target, 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 ball, ball, target.
So say what you see. Part 1 helps with the practical application of the science of quiet eye. And part 2 helps a player build on that through increasing the challenge point and creating that Jason Day-like experience. It's important to stress that just because Jason Day does something in his routine doesn't mean that it's going to work for every single individual. However, what Jason Day does is a very effective physical and cognitive process that will help some golfers out there play better golf. So do this on the practice range, try this drill. If you have a positive experience, I dare you to take it out on the golf course and see if it can drive better performance. Roll and fire. An incredible challenge for players that suffer from paralysis by analysis. Often in golf we'll give players advice of speed up, think less, don't stand over the ball for so long, but that's just words. How do we create an experience where a player can actually apply that advice and take learnings from it, transition them into a process goal and use it on the golf course to play better golf? Well, this challenge is a great way. Okay, so for this I use the perfect putter. Really simple. I roll the ball down the perfect putter. The player has to react and hit the shot before the ball stops rolling. Then start to rapid fire and just get the player reacting to the ball. Just free them up. There's no time to have paralysis by analysis. There's no time to worry about the outcome. Just go. Ready, Ben? Yep. And then the question is, how does the player then transfer those feelings of freedom and flow onto the golf course? So ask the player, what were you feeling? What were you thinking? Where was your focus? Did you see anything? Did you hear anything? And take that imagery, take those sounds, take the visualization and try and recreate it with a stationary ball. See if it frees them up and they can strike it better, and then get out onto the golf course when they're ready and use what they've discovered during this game as a process goal to drive performance. No club, no ball. This challenge is designed to give golfers an experience of what golf would feel like if it was completely devoid of outcome pressure and stress. This little white thing creates so much pressure and anxiety for some golfers because they're worried about the outcome, that this manifests in tension throughout the body and affects their golf swing. So this challenge will help golfers feel what stress-free golf is like, and then hopefully discover something that they can transition into their pre-shot routine. So the challenge looks a little bit like this. So the first thing the player's going to do is hit a golf shot with no club and no ball. So this will be a completely stress-free experience. So you can see here the player's going through their pre-shot routine. Really stress-free, tension's optimal, optimal focus, really smooth, absolutely devoid of any outcome. And now what we're going to do, the challenge for the player is to make it feel just as stress-free, but this time we're going to introduce the club and they're going to hit a tee. So again, the player goes through their pre-shot routine, this time with the added tool of the golf club and clipping a tee. But outcome stress should be very, very low. A nice smooth swing, nice solid routine. So now back, and the challenge is we've introduced the ball. So now there is an outcome. So all the player should be focused on is creating the same psychology and the same physiology as they've done in the previous 2 reps. So challenge for this is the same mind-body connection that they've just created. So as a coach, once a player has passed through this, it's the coach's responsibility to have some good open questions to extract, was the player successful in creating those same feelings from no club, no ball to then a full shot. And if they were successful in creating the same mind-body connection, how did they do that? And then put the player into a performance game, a challenge, or send them on the golf course with the goal of trying to create the same physiology and psychology to drive better golf swings and better golf shots. Chip bomb. This task is designed to help players get more externally focused and reactive when they chip. Golf can often be perceived as a non-reactive sport, and if we buy into that concept, it can have adverse effects on our psychology and physiology. If we can externalize our focus and be more reactive to the target, this can often help drive better mechanics and help us hit better golf shots, especially around the greens. So what the player's going to do, they're going to hit a low running shot up the green towards the target, and then before this one stops, they're going to land a more flighted shot, on top of the other ball. That was amazing. So chip bomb, a mental game challenge to help you find out if being more externally focused and reactive to the target when you chip is going to help you create better performance and hit shots closer to the hole. Drop set hit, a fantastic game for golfers that suffer technical paralysis or get anxiety over the golf ball. As humans, we're negatively wired. So as we stand over that ball, we're actually programmed to think the worst. This challenge takes away time and just allows a player to experience what it's like to hit shots with freedom and flow. Let's check it out.
Drop. Set. Hit.
Drop. Yeah.
Set. Hit.
Drop.
Set. Hit.
Drop.
Set.
Drop.
Set. Hit.
So as we can see, drop set hit creates a challenge where a player will have an experience of hitting shots without technical impedance, without outcome fear. Now it's the coach's responsibility to dig deeper, get them to explain this experience back to them, and help them transition this onto the golf course in the form of a process goal. So again, it's all about creating this initial environment where the student can actively discover feelings of freedom and flow, and then increasing that challenge point. So now we take the student onto the golf course and they can try and recreate those same feelings and shift away from technical paralysis or fear of outcomes. Ball unlock. A really simple challenge that can help players develop an optimal focus when chipping. A lot of times players will hit bad chips, not necessarily all because of their mechanics, but psychology creating adverse physiology that impacts on the mechanics. So before we start changing chipping technique, let's look if we change where we position our mind, can that change how the body feels and change how the club moves? And in my experience, it can. So this challenge, ball unlock, is a really simple way of helping players free up their chipping motion. You need 3 tennis balls and 1 golf ball. It looks like this. So here we can see the player has 3 tennis balls and 1 golf ball. The challenge point of hitting a tennis ball in the center of the club face is a lot lower than the golf ball. So we decrease the challenge point, and right now the player's discovering how to relax a little bit more because it's easier. And now the challenge is to take those same feelings, that same relaxation, into the golf ball and just use the feelings of hitting the tennis ball to drive the mechanics of hitting a golf ball. Ball unlock. Use this to help players reduce anxiety when they chip. The tennis balls lower the challenge point, let a player experience what it feels like to be less anxious, and then challenge them to take this newfound focus and better physiology into an actual chip shot and see if this can drive better mechanics. Spin putting, a great way to help a student get externally focused and react to the target. The whole idea of this game is by making a student spin around, they lose their target connection and they lose awareness of where the hole is. And if they're not allowed to look back up at the target, then they have to use their mind's eye to engage with where they think the target is based on the mental representation that they have, the previous image in their mind. It looks a little bit like this. So the player addresses the ball as normal, takes their setup, goes through pre-shot process, picks their line, and just before they're about to execute the shot, they spin around in a circle. They've now lost connection and awareness of where the target is. So what they have to do is they have to use their mind's eye to rediscover it. So again, set up to the ball, and then as the player spins around, this now means they've lost target awareness and they have to use previous mental reps to try and discover where the hole is. Do 2 balls like that, and then on the final ball, no spin, but try and really create that target awareness, the same awareness as post-spin. Spin putting. It's placing a constraint on the student that forces them to lose connection with the target, which in turn teaches them how to connect with the target.